Welcome to Kubernetes and Action Exercise 2. As we see, already we have created the clusters. Now we are going to access the Kubernetes API. And this video is going to demonstrate how to access that Kubernetes API and what are the operations we can do with the Kubernetes API. Let's see in action. So I am choosing the terminals for accessing the API using curl browser. So let me copy this endpoint first. So I'm using curl since that all the Kubernetes API will be hosted in that HTTPS. So since it's an IP HTTPS, I need to give this HTTPS in a protocol and then IP, then -k. So what is the use of -k? It will avoid the issues of that SSL certifications, because that normally whenever that the Kubernetes cluster is created, so they will put that one self-signed certificate in the Kubernetes cluster. So, but if you want to protect yourself, you can buy the certificate and you can put in the master, then you can access it. But as of now, I'm going to invalidate that the validation of SSL error. That's what I'm giving -k. Then I'm using U for user. I know my username is admin. Then I'm going to hit enter. So it is asking that username for the admin. So now we are able to see that welcome to Kubernetes and the body of HTML. So we are able to access that API. So now let's do some other things also. So to access that entire operations which is available in your API, you have to use /API/v1 beta1. So you can, there are two APIs versions available, either one is v1 beta1 or v1 beta2. Both are working perfectly as of now, but beta2 have some additional features than beta1. So but as of now I'm using the beta1 for the purpose of demo. So, and Kubernetes is providing three kind of services to so one is pods, another is services, and there is replication controller. So to access that the particular service, you have to put the service request in the manner. After the v1 beta1, you have to put service or pods or replication controllers. Okay. So first let's see how many pods we have in our cluster. So you can use pods and enter your password. So you can see that how many pods in yours. Since it's very new cluster, so we didn't deploy any pods yet. So that's what you are able to see, that it's an empty array in items. So the entire JSON is provided by that Kubernetes API. So we will go and do any actions using this JSON. Okay. Then let's see the same thing again for that services. So everything here is plural. So you have to use plural. As I said already, so we are in a first cluster, so that's what you are getting items null. So we didn't have any services. Service is nothing but it's a named load balancer, so which will do the reverse proxy and load balancer of containers. Let's see another things called replication controller. Okay. Here also we are not seeing any data which is available since it's fresh cluster. So, what is the use of replication controller? Replication controller will help you to maintain that number of same images um, in a replicas. So, if you want like deploy your own image, like own image with your APIs, like for example, like customer API or price API, product API, or whatever the API you name it. So if you want to uh, like scale up, scale down, you have to use the replication controller to put the same images and any numbers. That's what it is called as replicas. So this replication controller is very much helpful to maintain your scalability. Okay. So let's jump into the browser mode. So it will help you out like um, in a graphical mode. It is very neat and clean. So for the purpose, I am choosing that browser. So HTTPS and then your IP. So if you hit it, so you should see that welcome to Kubernetes. So the Kubernetes. So before that, since I already entered the password, it is not asking the password, but you have to give the password whenever it is asking. And another thing, so since it's a self-signed certificate, so you have to raise the exception for the certification. So while you access first time, so it is going to ask like certificate is not valid for the site. Do you want to add the exceptions? So you have to add the exception. Once you add the exception, you can see the certificate in this certificate zone in the personal store. So you can see that Kubernetes master. There is a change me that common name. So you can see that. So this way you can add this exception. So like that you have to add exception. What is the URL you need to give it like that. So after adding exception, and it will ask username and password. Once you enter it, so you can see that welcome to Kubernetes. Okay. So for further explanation for that Kubernetes API, I'm using the one tool called REST client. The REST client is nothing but it's a normal HTTP client, which is equivalent to Fiddler or Postman in Google, and same thing like that. So see, even this Mozilla browser using this Chrome extension, which is called REST client. So I'm using this, which is extremely fast and very reliable. So I'm going to copy this one and copy this URL and putting it over here. Then APIs, sorry. Then I'm putting API slash v1 beta 1 slash replication controllers. Sorry, I think I entered the wrong version. Name is called beta1. It's a beta 1. Sorry. Okay. Click send. Now you are getting the 200 OK status. And then if you see the response body, you are able to bring that the status of the replication controller. Same way, you can go and approach services. You're getting so entire services and pods. So these are the three things you can maintain via Kubernetes API. So pods also, there is empty list, and you should know one thing. So whenever you have to communicate, if you want to communicate to Kubernetes API, you have to give the basic authentication. Since I already given, that's what it is not asking. So, but you have to give this username and password whenever you want to communicate it. So that is base 64 authentication. It is validated from that Kubernetes API. Okay, and it's not only doing that. It is not only doing that get. So you can do all the things: post, put, delete. All the things you can do via that Kubernetes API. So the nice explanations which is available in internet, so called Kubernetes API documentation. So you can search in Google, so you can get it. Okay. So in the next video, I'm going to explain how to create that the clusters. How to create that pods, your number of pods using replication controller. Okay. So let's see in the next video. Thanks.